Let's open up the OG Mailbag. Alongside Joe Giglio, I'm Joe Ovies. We are inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. We're always brought to you by Coppers Plus. But for the mailbag, the free portion is brought to you by our friends at the Butcher's Market. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. I think we got a high at 80 tomorrow, 80 on a Saturday. That sounds like perfect grilling weather to me.
It does. I gotta replace a carpet.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it have to do with grilling?
It doesn't.
And Butcher's Market.
It doesn't, but it's like Saturday feels like the perfect day to do something that people would enjoy. But I'm replacing a carpet.
Why do you have to do that on a Saturday?
You'll be surprised to learn I have a guy.
You have a guy? No.
I have a guy.
I am shocked by this.
Who can only perform such duties on a Saturday.
God, you're so New Jersey, dude. Joe, you got to take...
So I think I hear what you're saying to me is I did this to myself.
You did it to yourself. You don't have to do it on a Saturday.
Should that be the moral of this story, that I did this to myself?
Yeah. No, you got to be like Dave, man. You got to be like Dave. You got to take the wins. You got to take the 80-degree days, be able to go out there and grill, man. Here's Dave Doeren. Thanks for our guy, JC. Wolfpack Central. I love winning. Who doesn't love winning?
Hey, look, man, I love winning. And to quote Dave Doeren, it's like better than losing. Right? It's a great feeling, man. That's what we do this for. You know, going there to lose games. It's all about winning. And you don't spend the time you do away from your families as coaches to almost do things, right? And so our goal is to be undefeated. And every week it's one game at a time. And it doesn't matter how it ends up. It's a W, however you cut it. And there's a lot of good stuff in that game, man. Our kicker did a great job. Our punter was phenomenal in that game. Our punt coverage was great in that game. You know, I mean, there's just things that really helped us win that football game. I was really disappointed in the targeting call. I tell you, I thought that was not a good call. Last year we lost Grayson McCall to a play that wasn't targeting, but that was today. And I'd love an explanation on that. You know, I thought that was about as clean as you could do what he did when the guy was running the football. And now we lose Sebastian for the first half of the next game. You know, I got to stick up for my guys. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, but I'm so proud of this football team and these players, these coaches. And also our fans that came, there's just as much red as they had in their color over there. So thank you.
Yeah, there was a lot of NC State fans out in Winston-Salem.
Old Joe would have sent Dave the clip of us asking Ron River on exactly how Grayson McCall being nearly decapitated wasn't a penalty, which he did have an explanation for.
He did. And it wouldn't be an NC.
But old Joe would send that to Dave. But new Joe's like, no. He was being rhetorical. He was not being literal. Sometimes I struggle with when people are being literal.
It was rhetorical. Also, it's classic NC State where you won the roller coaster and there's still something to be mad about. Because, yeah, I mean, that's an impactful loss for a first half.
Yeah.
When you got Duke coming up in a week. So look, man, last night, NC State and Wake Forest, we have a new Duke Carolina. Duke Carolina always delivers, right? It always delivers on the basketball court, they tell me. No, folks. That mantle now goes to NC State and Wake Forest in football. It always delivers, Joe. Oh, I mean, I could go full SNL skit. What was it, Stefan? Right? NC State Wake Forest football has everything. It has a kickoff, a Devin Hester-like kickoff return that you're going, wait, well, what? Where did this come from? You had a thick six, okay? Big man, pick six. Let's go. You had a barbecue truck on fire, Joe.
The barbecue on truck on fire, I had not seen before, so that was a first for me.
I mean, this is from John Boy. You know, you're like, was there like a fireworks extravaganza that I missed the beginning of the game? No, it's a guy making brisket in a truck and it caught fire. This game had everything. And more importantly, the thing that I thought was hilarious, I saw all you. And the thing that I'm mad about, because you're right, NC State wins, but there's always something you can be mad about. I'm mad that my plan last night was to take a couch melter from Nature's Relief. And when Wake Forest went up 14-0, and I got all y'all keep up my mentions saying, hey, man,
fire up the After Dark.
Better start firing up a pot of coffee, drink a Celsius, because you boys are going to be doing emergency After Dark. So much so, in fact, actually, let me pause this to prove to you that I did prepare. Okay, I did prepare because I was like, crap. Am I going to have to drive down to the studio near midnight for this? So I hit up Michael P. Let me hit pause so I can download this and show you all. All right, we're back. I've loaded up the After Dark background that Michael P sent me last night. If you're obviously you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast free portion of this, I will describe it to you. It is the negativity wagon, inspired by Game of Thrones. You've got Tuffy just tied up, knocked out, people throwing tomatoes at him with NC State fans with pitchforks, or with flames, with flaming torches, and negativity wagon, scrawled onto a sandwich board. So that's what we were looking at last night. So salutes to Michael P, man, and salutes to Bloom and Blinds, because obviously we would have gotten After Dark emergency protocols had they lost, but they didn't, Joe. So before we go on a magical OG sports phone journey, I'm going to give you my quick takeaways from last night.
Okay.
The one thing that Wake Forest had done in their win against Western Carolina was explosive play after explosive play. Okay. I'm not saying Wake Forest is quote unquote good, but if you give them opportunities with these two really fast MFers, well, they're going to make you pay. And nobody could have predicted a kickoff return to start the game. But the one thing that would be concerning was that the two guys you knew you had to stop, they couldn't stop early. But as we've seen, two things that have been very, very consistent in these roller coaster games for NC State. The first one is CJ Bailey. I know that Hollywood Smothers and Noah Rogers and Joe Lee, they're going to get a lot of love for a lot of the playmaking ability that they have. And the offensive line did a really, really good job in the second half of opening things up for Hollywood Smothers. That being said, CJ Bailey continues to improve game to game. And the advancement from the position that we was in last year and what we've seen so far this year, and Dave Doeren being okay with some mistakes and allowing CJ Bailey to go back out there and make up for it. I think he's been able to stay in the pocket. He's taken some hits. He gets right back up. Sometimes he'll take a sack when I don't think he needs to take a sack. He has to learn a little bit more ability to throw it out. But he's not throwing picks in those situations, or he'll try to make a play happen. So I've been really, really impressed with CJ Bailey. And I don't think there's been any doubt in these three games, and really in the last two games, where you got two games of two instances of being down 2 scores, and yet CJ Bailey doesn't really look flustered at any point, which NC State's defense, I guess the other part, once again, is doing enough. And they got the Wake Forest offense to finally get out of that rhythm and, stop the two fast MFers from doing what they had done to them early in the game.
I'm going to pretend that Chris Barnes listens to this program and heard me say all of the useful parts of Washington State ended up at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because I apologize, Chris Barnes, Washington State transfer, pops the opening kickoff and then had a big catch down the sideline to set up another touchdown. Basically, the 14-0 lead was all Barnes.
Yeah.
So I apologize to you, sir. There is one useful part of the Palouse down in Winston-Salem this year that will serve Jake Dickert well. So, and I thought the way that Wake Forest continues to understand the assignment. We had Dave Clawson on this program not that long ago. He said, I always felt like our players treated it like a rivalry game, and NC State does not.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the way that game started, it looked like, okay, Jake Dickert's new, but he gets it. Somebody left him something in the top drawer that said, circle this one on the calendar, because that was definitely Wake's Super Bowl, particularly in the first half. Now, let's get to a part of this that we're all going to, all season long, I like to grab onto a saying and give it to you and beat it into the ground until you get tired of me saying it.
Mm-hmm.
A coach is responsible for two things, and two things in particular on game day: the start of the game, the start of the second half. And once again, halftime, Diamond Dave Doeren came out looking like $1 million, because this is now the second week in a row that offense had given up 24 points the defense had given up 24 points in the first half, only to come out in the second half and look like a completely different team.
Yeah.
Virginia, they gave up 1 touchdown in the second half. Last night, no points in the second half. Now, you could say to me, 7 of those were on special teams. 1 of those was on a home run play. Cool. I would also just say to you, they figured out where Barnes was. They figured out how to turn the pressure point on Wake's offense and really make Ashford make more plays.
Yeah.
I thought Ashford was really impressive at times in the first half of the football game, but the quarterback that I saw against Kennesaw State was the one who I thought was more on display in the second half of this football game. And you have to give a lot of credit for NC State's defense and the way that they were pressure Ashford and make him make some more of these bad decisions that kind of led to the issues that Wake Forest had on offense. But again, coach has two jobs on game day: how the team starts, how they come out and make adjustments at halftime. Second week in a row, Dave Doeren's made all the right adjustments for his team. And all I have to say is, what did he say? Winning is better than losing.
Winning is better than losing.
It's not losing.
All right.
Beats losing.
It beats losing.
I mean, Dave's just dropping bar. Zen era Dave, I'm here for.
Shit, be happy we won.
And now we got to put this other one on there. And you know why?
Why?
Because I mean, seriously, the most excited you've ever seen me, perhaps in the history of our relationship, was when Ron Shelton was sitting in this seat.
Yes.
So yeah, Dave watched Bull Durham too, so he knew all the quotes too. Like, he would have been that excited to see him as well.
I don't need Dave doing the Costner speech about the small of a woman's back, though. I don't need to hear that one.
Hey, sometimes when you win, you really lose.
Well, he knows all about it.
That's when you lose. You really win.
Sometimes it rains. From Reeves,
different Ron Shelton movie, but
yeah. Reeves on Blue Sky. Gonna be so many cold takes on the sports phone. Big loss for the negativity wagon. Yes, Dave Doeren found a way to lap the negativity wagon. So I thought what we'd do here is take a little journey on the OG sports phone, because some of you would rather just call the OG sports phone and just talk into a voicemail than seek therapy. And you know what? That's what we're here for.
That's okay.
That's okay.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
Of course, the OG Sports Phone is always brought to you by Nature's Relief. Like I said, I was trying to get into my Nature's Relief stash last night, but NC State didn't want me to enjoy melting on the couch. It was too late. It was too late to take that gummy. So it is what it is. Let's begin, shall we? These are all calls that you'll be able to figure out pretty quick. I got 6 of them loaded up that happened around the start of the game going into the second quarter. This is from a 919.
Hello, OG. Courtesy driver, 7:37 p.m. There's a lot of game left, but y'all might want to get ready for that emergency after dark. Wake Forest running that thing in to start the game for TD. Here we go. Have a good night.
Indeed. Here we go. Here's another one from a 919.
Well, they ran back the opening kickoff. It is what it is. Ready for basketball season. Yep. I sound like a Carolina fan. But no, I'm a State fan. Yep. Yep.
The resignation.
On the kickoff return front, first time Dave has seen the opponent run back a kickoff and they come back to win. Remember Deebo Samuel, 17, and the nameless, faceless Mississippi State guy, in 21. So congrats on that front. Also, congrats on this front. It's the first time in 5 games against a first-year coach that Dave Doeren has won.
Oh, really?
Yes,
that's a hell of a fun fact.
That's a miserable, sobering fact. Yes, Dave Doeren faced Jeff Brom in 2023, lost at home in a game they absolutely should have won.
Well,
and then last year he faced 3 first-year coaches: Fran Brown, Manny Diaz, and Blake Burrell.
Well, let me give you another stat that ESPN put up at the end of the game.
Was this the end or halftime?
No, it was halftime. Halftime. Dave Doeren, NC State career 11-49 when trailing at halftime.
I mean, ESPN's feeling extra spicy on these ACC broadcasts lately. We had the 2-hour gap in the completed pass for Gio Lopez.
Lopez.
And now poor Dave.
Like, hey.
Well, yeah, like what What's Nick Saban's record in 60 games when trailing at half? Like, nobody's good.
Hey,
what kind of record do you want them to have?
NC State won.
Well, now you add one more.
Add one more. There are 12. There's 12 now. Here's another 919.
Davis of Smithfield. 14-0. Wake Forest over NC State. Let me make it clear, and you know, Joe, when I'm done, I'm done. If they lose this football game, it is over for Coach Doeren. They're not going to have a winning season. They're going to lose to Duke. They're going to turn around and lose to Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Florida State, Miami, and Notre Dame. So it's over. There's no sense in this. I don't care. You've got to be ready for this football game, and they were not ready. It's ridiculous.
David in Smithfield, man. You know how many times I've heard that man say it's over? You know how many times I've heard that man in 20 years say it's over when it comes to NC State football? They still call him.
By the way,
I love David in Smithfield.
Dave Doeren is now 2-0 this season when trailing at the half. Just so you know.
Right. Update the board.
11-4. I mean,
Update
was
the
that
board.
Ives? Was that Ives?
Maybe.
Was that payback for the Lopez?
Maybe it was Brett Thompson. I don't know. I don't know. Who's to say? All right, here's another
2-0 this year.
Here's another one. 919.
I honestly don't know what's worse. Having to put up with the bullshit Dave Doeren games where you get a lead and then just watch it slowly disappear the rest of the game and stop trying to win, just trying not to lose, or showing up to a game, just getting the doors blown off you 5 minutes into the game. They both suck.
He's from a 704.
All right, so it's only the first quarter, but I'm already limericking my way through this one. Here we go. There once was a coach named Dave. Mediocrity is all that he gave. He wasted our time on NC State's dime. Now the season has a foot in the grave. I've got one more. Dave did all that he could. Fans detested triangle good. Seasons reached 10, but never by wins. Fire coaches, as NC State should.
Dave did all that he could for triangle. That was good.
That was good.
The last one was good.
That was good. I had somebody send me this meme to the sports phone. Bailey averaging 10 yards a play. It's Peter Griffin from Family Guy. Doran's thoughts. Triple reverse, wide receiver screen on
Nice.
3rd and 14.
That was quite a. It's quite a.
Yeah.
I also have questions about the offensive line and what they're coaching them to do.
It could be a little hitter.
They can pass block.
Yeah.
I feel like they can pass block.
I agree. But they let there was some,
you ask them to do anything else, it's like I don't know. It just does not compute. I don't understand what you're asking me to do.
yeah.
It's so weird.
And one more from the negativity wagon before things turned around.
All right. I know it's early, not freaking out or anything. I'm just so confused as to how Dave Doeren somehow overlooks Wake Forest every single year. The fans do it. I do it. That's fine. But within 10 minutes, I'm reminded every single time that this team hates us. We should hate them. But I'm not getting paid millions of dollars. So why does it feel like this team is never ready when they get on the field against Wake Forest? It's kind of crazy. I mean, we're basically the same program, I guess, but it's still just, they're ready, we're not, is what it is. Go Pack.
All right. So that you get the general sense of what we were getting to the sports phone in the first half. But as we discussed, things turn around. And you know what? I want to give props to some of the people that I've loaded up into the StreamYard for having the balls to call back.
I like that.
That's good. I
Hey,
appreciate that.
I was a little premature, but now here I am calling back. I like that.
Let's go back to our Limerick guy from 704.
So I'm the fan who called earlier in the first quarter of the game when NC State was down by 14 points, and I started insulting Dave Doeren with some strange limericks. So I thought for my mea culpa, I should do the same. There once was an ill-tempered fan. He didn't trust Salty Dave's plan. Instead, he bemoaned, with cheap limericks thrown. Now his comments are in the trash can.
I gotta get this guy some swag. I like him.
Seriously. text us. I know it's a 704 number. Text us. We got some hats and some other stuff. Maybe we'll send you a hoodie from our guy, Michael P. There's all sorts of options. All right, let's go to 910.
AOG, same guy from Pinehurst. Well, I'm a fucking idiot. I was wrong to doubt Dave. 0 second half point. Defense looks good. EJ for Heisman. I'm cashing in that bet right now. We're going to Charlotte. I don't know what else to say. I'm an idiot. I just trust the plan. I need to stay off my Twitter account and not tweet until the end of the game because I will only look like a fool. So, yep, like I said, booking my ticket to Charlotte. Here we go.
We got a text from a 919. Law of the Wolf should have told me that the negativity wagon was rolling into town as soon as y'all said State 6-0 going to Notre Dame is a real possibility. There's a running gag how every Mad Men episode ends with someone saying, "God damn it, Don, you've done it again." Don Draper, the main character. And this is true, by the way, if you've never seen Mad Men, like every season ended with, "Don, you brilliant son of a bitch.
We're going to form our own new company.
We're doing our own agency now." Every season. I love that show. And it feels like we're at the point with Diamond Dave. Win or lose, the phrase is going to be, "Damn it, Dave, you've done it again." To another 910.
Listen, this might be the best 2 games of Dave Doeren's coaching career. It doesn't make any sense why it is this way in year 13 against these teams. But this state team is awful. But he came back twice against Wake Forest. The Virginia game made no sense, and he still won it. Give the guy a little credit. He deserves it. Doesn't mean he's great, but give him a little credit. Also, this Wake Forest game had it all. They're burning the brisket. I mean, the ref getting hit in the downtown district at the end. Perfect. 6-6. Go Pack.
Actually, shout out to the official at the end of the game who did get an Ashford pass to the nuts, but he was savvy enough that he covered up the bits before he got hit.
Oh.
He covered up the bits before he got hit. That's a savvy pro move, man. Savvy pro move. I can't find it, but somebody had also either tweeted me or texted me that I hate that Dave Doeren is making me delete the text I had sent to my friends earlier. That's where we're at with Dave. One more call on the full, actually 2 more calls on the full circle here.
Hey guys, it's Will from Smithfield on the way into work this morning. And wow, what a roller coaster of emotions last night for State fans and Dave Doeren haters, which I count myself among the greatest of them. I've been incredibly critical of Dave for a long, long time, and that opening kickoff and then getting down 14-0, I was dialed in. I was ready to call you guys. I was ready to scream at Dave. And then, before you know it, we're right back, tied back 14-14. And I was like, okay, we're back in it. And Wake gets up, and it looks like Wake's going to take another 2-touchdown lead. And I was right back to wanting to wring Dave's neck and chew him out on the sports phone. And then the second half happened. And, you know, the defense played pretty good, had some great stops there at the end. DJ Bailey looks incredible. The offense is putting up major points. Look, I got to give Dave credit. We're 3-0. We beat Wake at Wake. As much criticism as Dave has received, and well-deserved criticism, I would say, in my opinion, I got to give him his credit. This is awesome. Go Pack.
And one more from a 336.
Joe, I've been to Winston-Salem a zillion times in my life, and finally, and I was scared shitless with my tail between my legs after 8 minutes went through that game, 14-0, and here we are, Wolfpack winners, and I'm sitting at the bar right now in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we have won the football game and it is a great ass feeling. It's a great ass feeling.
So you get the gist. How things started, how things ended.
Hey, since 1990, NC State has won 7 games in Winston-Salem. Since 1990.
That's insane. They're being
and
that's
7. Dave's got 3 of them.
And I'm glad you brought that up because it was something that was bouncing around in my head last night. We've seen some really good NC State teams go to Winston-Salem and lose. So say what you want about what you feel about this particular team. And I'm yes, there's one team atop the ACC standings right now. Let's not get crazy, right? And they keep flirting with this stuff. And at some point, it could bite you in the ass, especially against better teams. Now, before you say it, how many teams in the ACC are really that much better based on what we've seen so far that are going to be on NC State's schedule, right? So I get what you're saying with that. But yeah, as we've kind of had a theme this week, and thanks to Spencer Hall from the Shutdown Fullcast joining us earlier this week, a little appreciation for Dave Doeren and how he cares. And clearly that ties into our conversation on Wednesday with Spencer with that soundbite from Dave. But a couple other thoughts from the game. This is from a 919 that I thought was pretty amusing.
Hey, this is Scott Wake Forest. Next morning, thinking about the game last night. Quite a game. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's make the entire plane out of the second half defense. Maybe that would work a little bit better. Hey, but I did take the money line on State after they went down 14-0, so I got that going for me. Keep up the good work, guys.
I think that's also part of the roller coaster. Shout out to all the people who texted us or tweeted at us your DraftKings bet slips on the NC State game last night. I don't. My Pack and Packers did not hit though because NC State needed to win by 14, so that did not happen. All right, now let's get to some other.
Packers didn't win by 14 either.
I know. But let's get back into some other things that are kind of lingering from this game. Which I thought this call was making a good point because there have been some ups and downs with the kicking.
So one, I just want to know how in the hell we have a kickoff guy who can't hit the damn end zone as a Power 4 program. I mean, this seems like the most bare bones basic stuff that we should be able to accomplish. Second, I noticed this the first game during ECU. I said, wow, this guy is not getting into the end zone consistently. And since then, I put money down on a punt return or a kickoff return, and it's like plus, whatever 1,000 odds. So if I'm going to have to watch this shit, at least I'm going to make some money off of it.
Hey, that's all you can do. From W. Ron, I think most people can rationally understand that Dave has done a great job with the program while also having genuine gripes about the missed opportunities to take the next step or evolve when he doesn't have the roster to play a particular way that he wants. My personal issue is that he takes regular shots at NC State fans at his pressers.
Dave?
Dave, he gets a little salty about some stuff. But then again, salty Dave tends to fuel some success on the field. And one more before we go to the paid side, because I thought this was another interesting analogy.
It was halftime of the NC State Wake Forest game, and I'm reminded a lot of the Chuck Amato era when Phillip Rivers was here, and he always talked about how there was no defense with all the offense, and then you had the defense with all. This defense is terrible. I don't think it's a talent issue, but would love to hear your guys' thought about how garbage this defense has been. And I don't think Wake Forest is all that good, but we're making them look like all-stars tonight. Anyways, love you guys. Bye.
Clearly, that call came in before the second half, where I think NC State's defense kept Wake Forest to 55 yards total offense, 0 points. Was that the total?
Yeah, but I got news for you. It's always a talent issue.
Well, so I'm glad, so real quick on that, Chris Vanini.
You're gonna have who you want. You can scheme up what you want to scheme up. Yeah. I mean, you can get in the way.
Chris,
you got to have difference makers. And last year's roster without Peyton Wilson, missing difference makers. This year's roster, I think they like the ends that they have, but gotta have difference makers.
Chris Vanini of The Athletic had put out there on social media that this NC State defense misses Tony Elliott. And I think we're misremembering NC State's defense last year.
Tony Gibson.
Or sorry, Tony Gibson. I'm not the Virginia coach.
I think I need you to drink every time you screw up some name.
This part's just part of the show gag.
How did you
at this
even
point.
get to Tony Elliott?
I don't know. All Tonys look alike, I guess. So in this case, they don't. But not the point. Not the point. Tony Gibson. Maybe I'm on the Nature's Relief now. Tony Gibson.
Now will be a good time for me to make my Popeyes brush off my Popeyes quarterback team.
Don't. So Tony Gibson was the defensive coordinator last year. And to your point, how badly did they miss Peyton Wilson?
Yes.
That defense was not as good as you've come to be used to with NC State. And then when you add to that, the transfer portal losing some guys and whatnot, you're seeing the talent catch up. I get that Gibson's a very, very good defensive coordinator. I get all that kind of stuff, but talent ultimately matters. And you're seeing that kind of come home to roost on the defensive side of things. So any other thoughts before we move things to the paid side of the OG mailbag?
No. I thought the night ended as it was supposed to.
Okay.
I thought State was the better team. The two things that could not happen early did.
Yeah.
But they were able to recover from them. And I think ultimately you take away from this that State has a guy in CJ Bailey.
Yes.
And, I hate to be the guy who points this out, but I have to do it since I would do it for other teams. You got to do it for State too. The odds of CJ Bailey being their quarterback next year just go down and down by every great performance that he has because A, his high school teammate happens to be Ohio State's best receiver, and B, Miami's going to need a quarterback next year.
Hey, so ride it while you got it.
That's not the point.
Not the point.
Right?
We're
You
talking
let
about
him run and you do it. I think you let him cook a little bit. But I think to your point, he's shown a maturity this year in how to extend plays. He's not necessarily taking off. He does look bigger. He looks stronger. He looks more mature. These are all the things that Dave loves. You recruit the diamond in the rough. You polish them. You develop them. And this is what he lives for.
And not to belabor the point, but what was the final score of this game?
Another one of those in the 30s, 34-24.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to clip that from Charlotte, by the way.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I could see this team from a mile away, man. Because we saw it last year.
Right. And there was not a willingness.
Now,
But
again, in fairness,
part of that was CJ being a freshman.
CJ being a freshman and overcoming what had happened with Brennan Arm. I get there's a lot of layers.
Grayson McCall. Yeah.
Or Grayson McCall. Why did I say Brennan? I quit.
You're like, you got Virginia on the brain. That's what it is. Brendan Armstrong, former Virginia quarterback.
I'm tired. Man.
Tony Elliott, current Virginia coach.
I'm tired. Grayson McCall, not Brendan Armstrong. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Anyway, I will continue making my point. And this is why maybe
as long as it's a supplementary point and not a complimentary point, we'll be fine.
Maybe, I appreciate the listeners because and maybe that's why nobody takes me seriously because I can't get names right ever.
This is a new Rubicon for you though, because
it's funny.
Normally it's the same first name.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's other than I'm tired. I don't know, man. Like I can tell you like various Nintendo systems and when they come out and all that kind of stuff, but I can't remember the names of quarterbacks who played for NC State last year and getting them confused with the quarterback from the previous year. But it does show. But maybe what it is that we've been talking about this so much in various purposes. Actually, I know what it is. We've talked about this in so many different ways. The players change, but the story stays the same in that they haven't been able to get this quarterback thing right for a hot minute now with transfers and everything else. And they've had, I'm thinking Brennan Armstrong and the MJ Morris. Well, why didn't you do that?
MJ Morris. Yeah.
Why didn't you do that?
Well,
and then I got mad and I got mad last year in that even before the Grayson McCall head injury, I just didn't see it with Grayson McCall. And then when you put CJ Bailey in there, you're like, hey man, there's something there. Like ride that thing out, which is, very much like hot lava for Dave Doeren. So I think a combination of obviously CJ's got to earn Dave's trust, right? He has to play better and he has,
right?
And I think Dave also has kind of like gotten to this point. I mean, he said it after the ECU game where he's like, we're going to have to get into the 30s. And I was like, yeah, dude. Told you that last year.
Yeah,
so
you got to be a little bit more of a Big 12 mentality than the old ACC mentality.
One other note before we go to the paid side of things on the YouTube membership channel. We got the Rialto, September 19th. That is Balls versus Cancer. The Scalar brothers will be here. Joe and I will be opening things up with our friends Chip Patterson and Mike Maniscalco. We will bring back your full of shit Giglio. Team Patterson, Team Maniscalco. We'll have prizes for you. We got hats. We got brown liquor. We're locked in, okay? But here's the thing. While we've raised some money, we've sold some tickets, we just want to make sure that the place is packed out. So we need seat fillers, just being real. So if you're interested in going for free, you and a +1, email us, theoggoesdigital.com. Again, that's theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. We've had a couple people email me. I've responded already. Hopefully you guys have gotten it. We'll put your name on a list with a +1. Just show up to the Rialto next Friday. We'll have a good time. There will be OG Light, and we'll be raising money for cancer research.
Okay, now before we go to the paid side, I want to have a little PSA here because I myself have been confused.
Are we having a meeting?
Yes, I myself have been confused as to exactly how do I enjoy a person to become on the OG, because it's not a subscription.
This is true.
Because subscribing is something different on YouTube. So for your handy dandy knowledge here now, there's this button right here. It says join.
Yeah.
This is just the homepage, youtube.com/@OG Triangle Media.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Then right there, see, I'm subscribed, right? But I haven't joined because I would just be I would be like laundering money to myself. So I'm not going to join.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Okay. But you want to join, and this is the button right there.
This is join.
And now
you might be subscribed, but you have to hit join.
Join. Yes. Two different things.
Yes.
Now, finally, if you would like for Joe Ovies to send you an MP3, if you're a YouTube only watcher,
$200.
It would only be $200 a month.
Yes.
Okay.
$200 a month.
Okay.
You send me $200 a month. Of course, you and I have to split it.
Right.
Then I'll personally send you an MP3.
Personally.
Personally.
Yep.
Here's the mail, it never fails. Makes me